The film begins with four seemingly unrelated segments. Teapot Sammo Hung is a burglar who fumbles a robbery and is arrested. Curly John Shum is organizing a legalized prostitution rally which turns sour. Exhaust Pipe Richard Ng, these names don't stop getting weird, is caught stealing car parts, and Vaseline Chari Chin has planned to swindle a jeweler out of a watch goes wrong. In prison, the four of them meet rookie Stanley Fung, who shares their cell, and together they decide to stick together when they all get out. Finally, they all get released on the exact same day, conveniently, which also happens to be the same day Triad boss Jack Jeans Tien gets out. The five of them go to Curly's house, where his sister Sherry June lives, who cooked dinner that day and invited them to come and get rice. They all wanted to step back so that one remains to talk to her, but Vaseline emerged and played a gentle knockout. Everyone wanted to serve the girl, but the brother couldn't allow them, but Curly's sister only served Teapot. The dinner went on so well and everyone enjoyed the food, and that same evening, Jack the Triad boss resumed his work from where he had stopped. He started again his dirty game of exchange of fake money, and when his employee makes a mistake, he brutally punishes them. The same evening they left for a walk into the town nearby, but everyone was fighting so hard to be near Curly's sister, but was so strict to protect his sister to the point that some fought hard to spend time with her. When they saw that Curly was overprotecting his sister from them, they made a plan to teach him a lesson, and they all gathered to watch a martial arts event, but a certain man wanted to stand near Curly's sister, and they plotted that he may be spanked on the head, and when Teapot did it, the man looked behind to trace who spanked him, but no result, and he left. The martial arts event continues, and there came another man who stood before them criticizing the Kung Fu masters. This time Curly was told to hit the man, and he courageously did it, and the man turned to trace the one who hit him, but to find out it was Curly because all his friends stepped aside and clapped for him for the work that was done, but he ran for his life. His sister remained with the four, but all tried to trick her so that they could spend time with her, but Curly's sister ran away from them with Teapot, and they had a great moment as Teapot performed his secret dance moves. Suddenly the four came out through a gate with bruises, and Curly blamed Teapot by chasing him. After some time they all started a cleaning company which they called the 5-Star Cleaning Company, and they had their Venfo transportation, but they used to make Teapot to carry the cleaning equipment, and it was much fun working together. One day Teapot and Curly's sister went to get some food in a restaurant. They made their orders, and they were served. And that same time came a man called Officer 07, who was a detective but tried to provoke Teapot with his gun in touching the girl, but at that same time he was investigating criminals who wanted to steal the woman in the restaurant. The burglars tried to fight the officer, but with the skills of Teapot they managed to defeat them, and the officer arrested them. The next morning we see Exhaust Pipe reading a book, and one day he believed he can get invisible after reading a book called How to Become Invisible, and this influenced him to undress himself in order to be invisible. But he first refused to undress himself, and he stood in front of them when they were watching a movie, but they chased him by throwing bottles of drinks at him. He goes back and sits on his bed and reads again in the book where he has to undress himself, but he didn't know that his roommates sneaked out on him, and they agreed to believe that he is invisible. Pipe decides to undress himself, and he starts his incantations, then he moves out. He steps in front of them while watching a movie on the television, but they pretended that they don't see him. He got so perplexed, and he began stretching in front of them, but they really pretended that he is invisible. He bought into that, then he came and stood in front of a man called Teapot, but he pretended to see nothing. He went further and even started provoking and slapping Curly, but Curly also pretended that Vaseline was the one distracting him. Curly then moved to sit on a chair, but Pipe ran and stood behind the chair, and as Curly was sitting on the chair, it was moved, and he fell down. Friends laughed so hard, and he ran to his room so embarrassed. Meanwhile, as they were laughing, Curly's sister joined them. who told them that he came into the bathroom when she was showering, and as soon as Teapot moved out of his room, they threw bottles of drinks to him. The next day, the Mafia boss instructed his two bodyguards to escort his servant while he trades. The same day, Officer 07, while he was waiting for his girlfriend, he whistles, and another man thought he was calling his girlfriend, and they were involved in a fight, which after they discovered that they were both detectives, and they greeted each other. Him and the girlfriend went for his acrobatics performance, and he had to succeed in order to get a kiss. He proceeded with his performance, and he finished, and he was given a peck by his girlfriend, but in that same time thieves saw the Mafia's servant being shy while carrying a briefcase, and they jumped over it, and they stole it. He began to scream so loud that thieves until the officer heard it, and he quickly began to hunt them, being joined with the Mafia's guards. When the thieves ran, the briefcase fell into the van of the 5-star cleaning company, and they left it to run for their lives. But the servants suddenly saw the briefcase in the back of the moving van, and they revised the details of the car. The officer still insisted to chase the thieves who had got a car while he was using his skates, but he had to look for faster means, where he got a motorcycle. He later found the thieves and stopped them, but they had stopped in the wrong position of the road, which led to the crashing of many cars, and he later regretted it. When the Mafia boss got the news, he decided to punish his servant, and he warned him not to do that next time, but his daughter came in to save him, and the Mafia moved out for other businesses. Immediately as he had left, Curly and the crew came in to clean the house. The house caretaker received them, and he began to tell them the rules of the house. He also tested them by giving them cigarettes, but all of them lacked a lighter, and he told them that smoking cheap cigars is not allowed, that they failed the test, and he let them clean. At the police station in the office, Officer 07 came, and he had to report to his boss about the incidents that happened, but he was playing with his tortoise, and when the boss came in, he started looking for them. One was found, and the other was crashed to death under the foot of Officer 07, and this annoyed his boss, and he sent him to work as a traffic officer. While at the road, he stopped the van of the 5-star cleaning company, and he started writing down details of the car, but at that moment Teapot saw him, and he came to talk to him, and he pardoned them. When they came back, they took a nap, but Rookie woke up, and he told Teapot to answer a riddle, but if he fails, he takes the cleaning materials in the storage room where he saw the briefcase. Tried to hack the password but fail, and Vaseline later told them about the party at the Mafia's house in the evening. At the Mafia's house they had no invitation, and they had to use cigars and smoke as a diversion to enter. Inside the house, the guest had filled the room, but at the other side the Mafia had welcomed his fellow business partner, who also had a large army, and they shook hands and left, but Rookie was seeing them, and he also tried to go up but was stopped by the bodyguards, and he came back. Vaseline and Exhaust Pipe tried to trick and get girls, but all were humiliated. The Mafia boss and his friend had a meeting, but that time his servant saw the card that Curly had. He immediately told the boss, who told the guards to bring him up, but also his friend told his guards to be careful. Curly was called and brought to the boss, whom he tried to greet but only disrespected him, and when Curly replied him, his guards punished him and threw him down in front of people. His colleagues gathered up to see what happened, and the Mafia boss claimed that they are thieves who need to be punished, and the fight arose. The fight was fired up to the extent that even guests began to run away, and the boss sent more guards to fight, but were defeated by Teapot's Kung Fu, who later used the fire breath method, and they escaped. Curly and the others entered the car, but the Mafia's friends sent guards to kidnap them, and when Teapot came running after them, they tried to inform him, but he couldn't understand, and when he entered the car, he tried to escape but was also taken. In the house of the Mafia's friend, they were put together and asked why they are being chased by Mafia Jack, and they lied, but the Mafia's friend took Curly's sister from them, and he gave them a task to find the briefcase if T wanted to find her alive, which they agreed upon. When they reached home, Curly asked them how they were gonna save his sister, but suddenly Teapot brought up the briefcase, which he had figured the password. When he opened it, it was money and everyone shared, but Rookie checked the money and he also saw the fake money silver printer, and after checking it, he told them it is fake money, which they replaced back, and he told them to take it. While they were on their way, Mafia Jack's guards found them, and they chased them, but they hid behind the trash cans which they pushed towards them, and they ran away. They arrived at a certain building and Rookie told them to separate into two groups. He also told Curly to carry the fake prints and Vaseline pipe, and Teapot to carry the briefcase, and when they saw the guards coming they divided the things as planned and ran. Teapot and Pike called the guards as a diversion to protect Rookie and Curly in order for them to find the Mafia's friend, and the guards chased them into the house. Mafia Jack and his guards tried to look for Teapot and Pipe in every room, but they were not there, and they moved to the basement where Teapot came in with a car lift and tried to fight them. Teapot's kung fu and tactics were so well and he managed to fight the guards, but defeated a few number, and the other captured them using guns and sickles. When the Mafia received the briefcase, he opened it and found a missing silver plates and asked him for it, but they replied that Rookie and Curly is bringing it over, and they stood in there to wait for them. In the waiting, Pipe shouted for help, and they stopped him. Later on, Curly and his sister came with Mafia Jack's friend, and when they heard them they switched on the lights and they met up, but Mafia Jack was surprised to see his friend in the deal, and Curly gave the silver plates to the Mafia's friend and told him to let them go. The Mafia's friend tried to explain, but Mafia Jack couldn't listen, and a conflict aroused. Both the teams organized their guards for battle, and the bosses also attacked themselves to fight, but in that very moment police came in from nowhere. The armed soldiers also came in through the windows and filled everywhere, and the guards and their bosses started to run, but they were surrounded. They gathered up in the center surrounded by armed soldiers, and Rookie appeared dressed in the police uniform, came to them, and all were amazed to see him. The money and the fake silver given to Rookie and all the gangs and their mafias were arrested. After all that, Teapot and Curly's sister came to Rookie's office, but they were joined by an officer of 7 who then welcomed Rookie, and he told them that Rookie is their final boss here. Officer Rookie then granted Teapot an award and commission, and he also got a kiss from Curly's sister. Also, Officer 07 received an award and promotion at work. He moved out so happy to meet his girlfriend whom he is marrying today, but also turns out that Teapot had the same idea. The movie ends when they both agree to carry their girlfriends to the court for marriage.